1. Internet forums. There are hundreds of internet forums out there dedicated to investing. Frankly, the vast majority are terrible, with the blind leading the blind advocating all kinds of non-evidence-based methods of investing. The people posting on these web forums are notorious for making over-the-top predictions with little, if any, data supporting their claims. The worst of this investment advice forums is TikTok. If you're currently turning to an online message board for investing advice, stop right now. The majority of posts can be broken down into a few categories: baseless claims, bragging, spam, and name-calling. But the biggest problem with online investing message boards is the rampant manipulation. Some users post comments to purposefully manipulate the trading activity in their favor. For many companies, especially those lightly traded, it might be possible for the right comments to move the stock price in one direction or the other. There are even cases where company executives use message boards to influence the price of a stock by making inappropriate comments. Papers filed by the FTC revealed that for several years Whole Foods Market CEO John Mackey posted highly opinionated comments under the pseudonym Rahodub on a Yahoo Finance message board. However, there are a few good forums out there, including A. Boggleheads for index fund investing, B. Bigger Pockets for real estate, C. WCI Forum, WCI Facebook group, D. WCI subreddit. There are probably a few other decent ones out there, but remember the barrier of entry to getting on the internet and sounding authoritative is pretty low. But before we go to the second point, kindly subscribe. 2. Penny stock spammers. Right up there with the internet forums are those annoying emails claiming that some new discovery, still widely unknown to the media, is about to send this $1 stock to the moon, quickly making millionaires out of anyone who buys shares. That'd be fine, except there's never very much information to substantiate the claim. But these emails are still going around, so someone must be taking the bait. 3. Hot stock tips. These aren't quite as bad as the penny stock spam emails, but that's not really saying a lot. These messages, usually filled with exciting language and testimonials from other investors, claim to have some inside information that, once disclosed, will make the stock double in price. According to the researchers, only a crazy person would turn down such a surefire offer. But the reality is, if they did have inside information, then someone has broken the law by disclosing it. Yet, just like the penny stock spam, these hot tips don't ever seem to stop finding their ways into people's inboxes and mailboxes. While hot stock tips might be interesting, do yourself a favor and carry out the necessary research before making a commitment. 4. Family or friends who recently started with a financial service company. Most people who sign up with a financial service company wash out after a few months. They're simply not cut out to be salesmen. However, one benefit of this high turnover rate is that the company gets the chance to sell to the family and friends of these washouts. 5. Anyone you attend church with. I go to church, and you may also. But it is unbelievable just how many investment scams are run through churches. Churches are a lot like family, and we tend to be vulnerable and trusting with those we share the same beliefs and values. Investing, however, is best done with the brain and not the heart. 6. Television. There is almost no useful investing information on television. TV is great for current events, but the library is probably a better source of solid investing information. The stuff you need to know just doesn't change often. A long-term investor doesn't care what the S&P 500 did this month, much less today, and certainly doesn't need to see it go up and down in real time. Don't get me wrong, I like CNBC and Bloomberg. They provide quality info that includes views from each side of an investing issue. Many of their guests are successful investors. The problem arises when they recommend a stock and many investors enter orders immediately. In some cases, you can see a price jump on the ticker at the bottom of the TV. With millions of viewers, a comment on a stock can move the market. Just because a noted investment advisor thinks a stock has potential to appreciate does not mean it is right for you. The traders buying the stock do not understand the fundamentals, nor do they have a good entry or exit strategy. Jim Cramer's Mad Money show is a good example. Jim features several stocks during his show. In each case, he advises his listeners to do their homework and not to buy immediately. Yet you can see a price leap as many followers try to get in on each stock he commends. 7. Your insurance agent. I know lots of insurance agents. They're great. They know all kinds of details about types of insurances I need, such as term life, disability, and malpractice. However, their training is in insurance and mostly in how to sell it, not investing, and is primarily provided by their insurance company. Insurance-based investing solutions, such as annuities and cash value life insurance, have serious downsides, and commissioned insurance agents, that's all of them, are likely to gloss over these downsides if they understand them at all. 8. Your local brokerage shop. There are all kinds of local places for you to get investing information. For some reason, they usually seem to have two names, such as Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones, Waddell and Reed, Raymond James, Morgan Stanley, Smith Barney, or Wells Fargo. However, others include local offices for more reputable firms such as Fidelity, T. Rowe Price, and Charles Schwab. The issue is that these offices are hotbeds of commissioned salesmen. They don't make money unless you buy something they sell, and taking advice from someone trying to sell you something besides their advice is usually a bad idea. Yes, I am aware that some of these firms also offer a fee-only advisory service, usually based on an AUM fee. 9. Your bank or credit union. You've trusted them for years. You know the tellers by first name. You have your mortgage there and perhaps even a car loan. They have had your checking account for 15 years. When it's time to invest, why wouldn't you trust them for advice? Well, here's the reason. The guy at the investment desk in your local bank is also a commissioned salesman. To make matters worse, he's probably an undereducated, captive salesman who only sells that particular bank's investment products, which are likely high-load, high ER, poorly performing, actively managed mutual funds, or worse, poorly designed insurance-based products. The worst professionally designed portfolios I've ever seen come from the investment guy in your local bank. So where can you go to get trustworthy advice? If you're willing to pay for it, you can go to a good fee-only advisor. Although the price is often quite high, there is no price too low for bad advice. You can limit the damage to your wallet by using an advisor charging an hourly rate to give you a second opinion on a portfolio you design yourself. You may also find an advisor with a reasonable annual retainer fee or asset under management charge. There are dozens of high-quality investing books out there. If you're too cheap to purchase them, borrow them from the library. The latest ones aren't any better than the ones that came out 5 or 10 years ago. In fact, the older ones are better because you can then see if the author knew what he was talking about. As mentioned earlier, there are reputable places on the internet where high-quality information can be found. In general, the less anonymity and the more longevity of forum or blog, the better. Surprisingly, I found some excellent investing information on the websites of the more reputable mutual fund companies such as Vanguard, DFA, Bridgeway, Fidelity, and T. Rowe Price. While I've been disappointed at articles I've seen in even reputable financial publications such as the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and Money, there has been a vast improvement over the last 5 years, and these publications were always heads and shoulders above the advice found in other publications. High-quality investing information and advice is out there, but if you don't know how to recognize it, you're likely to fall prey to the far more common bad advice and drown in the sea of useless information.